Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about this movie Bros and Billy Eichner. So what is the story on all the hubbub around his tweets? Without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, let's start off with this tweet here. Last night I snuck in and sat in the back of a sold out theater playing Bros in LA. The audience howled with laughter start to finish, burst into applause at the end, and some were wiping away tears as they walked out. It was truly magical. Really, I am very proud of this movie. Okay, I think there's nothing wrong with being proud of your own movie, and I certainly don't know that this actually happened, though. I mean, it sounds sure. I mean, LA's a microcosm, right? And this could very well have happened, but I'm just a little suspect. And also coming from this guy who's obviously not impartial because, involved with making the movie. Yeah, it just seems, I don't know, a little far-fetched. But here's where it turned weird. And this is where I draw the line for things like this. Everyone who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see Bros tonight. You will have a blast, and it is special and uniquely powerful to see this particular story on a big screen, especially for queer folks who don't go get this opportunity very often. I love this movie so much. Go Bros. So I don't understand, like, who are you telling this to? You're saying, if you don't go see this movie, you're a homophobic weirdo, but at the same time, you're saying, oh, well, queer folks especially need to see this movie on the big screen. So are you telling queer folks to go see it? I mean, I thought they were already going to go see it. If you have to tell them to go see it, then I got to kind of wonder about that first tweet there and whether, that's really the case. But, in my opinion, this whole you must go see this film or you are X is just getting so overdone now. We've seen this again and again and again. If you don't go see this movie, you're a racist, right? Or we've seen the whole, if you don't go see this movie, you are a misogynist. And it just, does this really work? Ask Elizabeth Banks if this worked. Her movie that was, where she was basically telling people they have to go see this movie didn't even hit $9 million, even though it was projected to open at $10 million. And that was back in 2019. And of course, she had this quote here. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces this stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. And then, of course, people rightly pointed out that, Captain Marvel made $1 billion that same year, and Wonder Woman made almost $1 billion just 2 years before. So that doesn't really seem to scan. Also, keep in mind that, the majority of the population in the United States is actually women. It's 51% of the population is women. Only 49% is men. Why aren't you all over the women for not going and seeing this movie? Because it was a feminist movie. And then she has the gall to later say, oh no, that was just marketing misunderstanding. It was a marketing disconnect, even though she was the one doing all these interviews. But I digress a little bit. Let's get back to Billy Eichner. And that is when we start to get into the copium. That's just the world we live in. Unfortunately, even with glowing reviews, great Rotten Tomato scores, and a cinema score of A, straight people, especially in certain parts of the country, just didn't show up for Bros. And that's disappointing, but it is what it is. Massive, massive cope. Maybe they just didn't see themselves represented in this movie. Let's just boil this down to this. Just my opinion, just through my eyes. But this is what I saw growing up, okay? So I'm not trying to speak for that community. The LGBTQIA plus movement, which was I think it was just LGBTQ at the time. And back at that time, it seemed to me, or it appeared to me, that all these people wanted was to have the freedom to choose, to be able to choose who to love and how to live their lives. Who doesn't want that? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Unless, of course, you're Billy Eichner. And then you don't have the freedom to choose to go see a movie anymore. Then it becomes just like with Viola Davis and just like with Elizabeth Banks, it becomes your duty to go see this. And, they use things that are basically threats and guilt trips and coercion to try and get people to see a movie. You have to go see this movie or you're a misogynist. You have to go see this movie or you're a racist. You have to go see this movie or you're a homophobe. No, you don't have to do anything. And if you have to use threats, coercion, and guilt trips to get people to go see your project, then maybe your project is dreadfully mismanaged, or you didn't understand your market. You didn't understand the demographics. And I find it hard to understand how someone who is making movies doesn't first do that research, doesn't understand, hey, what's my actual demographic here? And what portion of the general public do they represent? And how many of those can I get them to go to a movie theater and actually watch this project? And then how can I do that? How can I achieve that? Through marketing. Marketing is not threats and coercion. You know, if you don't get people, your target market, your demographic that you're seeking to go see a movie, then it's not their fault that they didn't go. It's your fault for not getting them there. It's either your movie isn't something that they want to watch, and you misunderstood. You didn't accurately project what the actual demographic and what the actual audience for this movie might be. Or it's your fault for terrible marketing because you don't know how to market your movie. Both of those are a mistake of this guy here, Billy Eichner. And then here comes, of course, the copium that we always see with movies like this or with projects like this when they start to fail because someone decided to take a very niche audience. They misunderstood how many people might actually go see it, or their projections were wildly wrong. Maybe I would say their wild ass guesses were wildly wrong. And then, of course, they start to do the cover your ass. They start to engage the copium. And it looks a lot like this. We have to take license. We have to entertain people. Well, I mean, if you have to entertain people by completely misrepresenting, something that's historical, I think maybe you've taken a little too much license. If you're portraying a tribe as being against something that they actively did, then that seems to be 180 degrees out from reality. And that's not just taking license. That seems like that's just lying about the reality of the situation. Or they end up doing this, where they dismiss basically movies that did do well that don't fit their narrative. Like, oh, well, that's because Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman belong to the male genre. But in the end, it all boils down to this right here, and that is this movie apparently didn't make a lot of money. Now, I haven't checked the box office. I don't care. I don't care about this movie. What I care about is pieces of shit like this who decide that they need to threaten, they need to coerce, and they need to guilt trip the general public into going and seeing their movie. And that's never worked, and it never will work. It's a stupid tactic, and it's especially a stupid tactic for a movie that's supposed to represent the LGBTQIA plus community. They're all about freedom to live their lives and to make their own choices, unless, of course, that choice is about going and seeing a movie about queer folks. Then you're forced to do it. You have to. It's your duty, or if you don't, you're a homophobe. Okay, what a bunch of horseshit. So we see this here. Box office, as we all know, has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of a movie. I can kind of agree with this, but it does have to do somewhat with the quality of a movie, because if a movie is shit quality, people aren't going to go see it, all right? And that's going to be reflected in the box office. The other thing it has to do with is entertainment. And a movie is, if it's not entertaining, then that's also a reason why it might not do well in the box office. Okay, so it can be good quality, but a boring fucking movie. Take, for example, Morbius. I just watched that the other day. I'd never seen it, and that movie was beyond boring. I got an hour in, and I just said, I'm just not going to finish this. What the hell? It was boring. I mean, within the first 5 minutes of watching the movie, I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be the bad guy here, and this is the good guy, obviously. I mean, I'm picking the plot line out within the first 5 minutes, and I know how the movie's going to go. Yeah, it was not a great movie. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. There's quality of production, there's entertainment value, and then there's marketing. Marketing is the third thing. And trust me, this is not good marketing. This right here, this is not good marketing. This is pure fucking copium. Here, I don't have an opinion about this movie. I don't care whether you go see this movie. Go see it. Don't go see it. I don't care. I'm not telling you that you should or shouldn't go see it. I'm simply saying this guy's shenanigans are bullshit. The majority of people who see Bros really love it. Go check it out and see for yourself. I mean, this fucking smacks of absolute desperation. And I just think that this is the perfect end to this story here, and that is gay and straight people joining forces to shit on Billy Eichner and Bros is the closest we'll ever get to unity. And you know, it's a funny tweet, that's all. Most people just want to have the freedom to live their life the way they want to live it, and they want to have other people leave them the fuck alone. The little thing called mind your own fucking business, right? All right, but that's my thoughts on this whole Bros thing and Billy Eichner. This guy, in my opinion, is a total jackass, and he's just full of coke. That's it. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, smash the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Currently pushing for 1,000 subscribers, so if you enjoy the content, then please do subscribe. That's all I have for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.